What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scream 7, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Friday the 13th, the Crystal Lake series, and we'll be talking about Final Destination 6. So starting off here with Scream 7. At this time, the film is believed to have wrapped shooting. It did not wrap on the 12th like originally planned because of all the delays. And we know for a fact, well, at least I do, and some others know for a fact that it did not wrap on the 12th because there was a casting call sent out looking for folks to play a young townsperson for a scene they were shooting on the 13th. Now, since then, multiple crew members have started posting about wrap parties. Celeste O'Connor posted something on their Instagram of what looked like some goodies that were sent to the crew. So at this point, I would say it's safe to say that Scream 7 is done filming. It will now be edited and released next February until further notice. No nut jobs like Scream 6, no plot leaks before filming like Scream 5, some rumors about mistreatment of extras, but otherwise things appear to have gone smoothly with the filming stage of production. I bet we'll get our first teaser in October, but we'll see. Matthew Lillard did recently appear at a con event. Shout out to you, Scream News, because I know you tweeted this out recently, but he appeared at a con event expressing that he was on set shooting and he may have been covered in blood, something along those lines. So he let it be known that he was in fact on set shooting his scenes as Stu Macher, and going off of how I know Stu Macher is used, of course he would be covered in blood, not because he just killed someone brand new, but because of the fact that he's portraying a dead character. Stu Macher was covered in blood when he died. Now, as far as why he would say that and still be revealed as the killer, that's the thing. The way he's talking about his comeback, it's not very respectful to the whodunit element. If he's really going to be back alive as Ghostface, why would he be talking about it like this? He's dead, guys. Now, let's talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, JT Mollner is out here killing hopes and dreams. He tweeted out, "Don't believe everything you read," which is a clear response to the Texas Chainsaw news that came out last week. Without any context, all we can do is speculate that perhaps he doesn't have an actual interest in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which sucks because I think he would have absolutely crushed it. A few of you did mention Ty West, since the style of X seemed very Texas Chainsaw Massacre like, or his tweet could be referring to the fact that while he's interested, perhaps the Glenn Powell part is not entirely true. I just find it hard to believe that everything about his role when it comes to this upcoming project is false, since it came from Deadline, a very reputable trade, which yes, can get things wrong, it just doesn't happen all the time. But we'll wait and see what he means by that, by tweeting out, "Don't believe everything you read," because it can't be about anything other than that Texas Chainsaw news. But it's like, well, it did come from Deadline, so what part of that actually is wrong? Is your interest in it wrong? Is the Glenn Powell part wrong? What exactly is wrong? Because he did not specify that. I find it hard to believe that the entire thing was wrong. JT Mollner's name being brought up to Deadline, them being able to track that down. Deadline doesn't usually get things wrong, so context would be appreciated here. Now, let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer really quick. Charisma Carpenter, who we know played Cordelia Chase not only on Buffy, but she was on the spinoff Angel. She addressed some of the reporting that came about surrounding her hopes to be in the Buffy revival. She posted a TikTok that's about 8 minutes, and it would appear she's saying her words were twisted into having certain conditions and certain things that she never stated as it pertains to her hopes of part of being in this revival. Now, these comments originated from her appearance at a con event. She did, in fact, not explicitly state there were certain conditions. However, I can see why it was labeled as such, but I also see where she's coming from. If she did not label it as a condition, we should do our part to not make it seem as though she has certain conditions, because it can come off a certain way when you don't have someone's voice attached to it. And when you're reading text, people can come off a certain way that they don't intend, versus when you're actually talking to them. But my heart does go out to her, since she had some poor experiences while participating in this universe under Joss Whedon. Hopefully, the twisting of the words that came from this reporting doesn't jeopardize her return as Cordelia in the upcoming revival. I don't think it will. I think if they want Cordelia back, they will have Cordelia back. Charisma Carpenter still looks amazing like she did all those years ago on Buffy and Angel. I would love to see her back in some capacity as Cordelia. I think the best thing to do, again, would be to just acknowledge the fact that she ascended to a higher being. She could be one of the oracles, as someone pointed out, and try to bring her in that way. Or yes, you can go to a Wishverse type of route and go to an alternate dimension where Cordelia was still alive, she's aged, and we'll see her caught up maybe training a new Slayer. I don't know. Or maybe she's still fighting demons with Angel. So let's now jump into talking about Crystal Lake. So Linda Cardellini is going to be starring in Crystal Lake as Pamela Voorhees, according to Deadline. Cara Delaney's Pamela is believed to be a mother who had given up on a singing career to raise a special needs child and takes a dark turn when she loses her son. This is very interesting because Jeff Snyder first reported this, at least that there was a chance for her to be in the project. I think at the time he had stated she's in talks, didn't specify that she had signed. Deadline and Variety are all specifying that she has now closed the deal. So this is all exciting. Another scoop confirmed, you could argue, for Jeff Snyder. I know he gets a lot of flack, but he does get a lot of things right. This being another example of that. So Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees, I think is going to be phenomenal. I think she's going to win a lot of awards. I'm making a bold prediction there. I'm looking forward to seeing her performance as it pertains to how we explore Pamela's youth. That singing career bit does make me a little bit curious about that. I want to see what that is, how that all transpires, and how she ends up at Camp Crystal Lake, and of course the downward spiral that comes from losing Jason, which of course seems like it's going to play a heavy role in the series, since we're going to be focusing on Pamela, digging into her. Hopefully we meet Elias. I'm not going to cross my fingers for that. I'm betting we meet Elias, and maybe he had something to do with why her singing career went south and ended up at the Camp Crystal Lake. But we'll see what comes of this. Are you guys looking forward to seeing Linda in Crystal Lake? Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. Did you have someone else in mind to play Pamela Voorhees? Let me know that down below. Last thing we're going to talk about here is going to be Final Destination 6 Bloodlines. So first and foremost, the trailer is going to be dropping tomorrow. The official social media accounts tweeted that out this morning, or at least sometime today. And then more importantly, we got our first look at the late Tony Todd making his final appearance as William Bludworth. We know that this is going to be diving into his origins. I've been telling you guys some things you can expect about his origins when the film drops, things that I've had verified, but I think he looks fine here. I know that reports stated that he had been ill and we unfortunately lost him, but I'm not going to dwell too much on his appearance. I think for what it is that we've gotten here, he looks better than what I think many people were making it out to be. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. I cannot wait to see and hear from William Bludworth one final time. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. You are forever in our hearts. You are a horror legend, a horror icon. Candyman will live on, and that story will be told for many generations to come in the horror community. But more importantly, I would also want to acknowledge how you have left a big mark in the Black community and our representation in the horror community. So I appreciate you, never will forget you, and I look forward to seeing your contributions as William Bludworth in Final Destination Bloodlines. Are you guys looking forward to the trailer that's going to drop tomorrow morning, I would assume? But definitely tomorrow. Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. I lied. We have 2 last-minute updates on Saw 11 and The Strangers Chapter 2. So, according to The Hollywood Reporter, Saw 11 has officially been cut from Lionsgate's release calendar, but that doesn't mean the franchise is dead yet. The Hollywood Reporter can exclusively report that the planned sequel in the horror franchise, which had been slated to hit theaters later this year on September 26, has been removed from that date. This follows Patrick Melton, the writer on the movie, telling The Hollywood Reporter in a story published last week that there has been intersquabbling, which has been rumored for many months before the reputable trade started breaking it last week. But this is, of course, going on between producers and Lionsgate. On Monday, Lionsgate shared a cheeky statement from Billy the Puppet, the ventriloquist dummy used in the films by the character John Kramer. He said, "I've seen the rumors. They say it's game over. You all should know me better than that. The game is never over." It says, in a twinned move, The Strangers Chapter 2 is now set for wide theatrical release on September 26. Madeline Pesch reprises her role in the sequel after starring in The Strangers Chapter 1. Now, this, of course, is not that shocking. And what I'm talking about is Saw 11. To be quite honest, if you heard me during my own update on it, I myself even stated that this franchise would be back at some point. They never actually used the word canceled. The more appropriate terminology that we should be saying is stalled. I think that's a more appropriate term to be using at the moment, because while it has no release date, there is still activity going on that I think will end up leading us down the path of Saw 11 coming sooner rather than later, because Saw 11, even if it doesn't come out this year, probably will still come out sometime next year, or at least in the next 3 years. It won't be a decade or longer before we return back into the world of John Kramer and friends. And as far as The Strangers Chapter 2 goes, Madeline Pesch teased this over on her Instagram yesterday. If you followed her on Instagram and saw what she posted about people asking her, where's the movie? What's the release date? Then she posted that evil emoji afterward. So then we got this news about The Strangers Chapter 2 today. I feel like a dumbass because I probably should have expected this, but all I could think of was Scream 7 taking this date, because I think Scream 7 really should capitalize on this and drop around the Halloween season. I know many of you do agree. But The Strangers taking its spot isn't that shocking. Both are Lionsgate. Are you even looking forward to The Strangers Chapter 2 anymore? Let me know why not down in the comment section below. What do you think about that reassuring statement from Billy the Puppet that Lionsgate put out today, indicating that they still have plans? To me, they didn't say this, but to me it indicates that we should still expect Saw 11 to be happening down the road at some point sooner rather than later. Let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and this video. In the description, I have links to my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.